Let's get it! As y'all always know, my favorite video to do in a week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, new AP poll is here. Yes. Now, already off the bat, that's real interesting. It's 25 and 24. Now, Florida State got the boot. No longer ranked in the poll. They are 3-3 on the season. They are struggling too. I think Mike Norvell's job might be on the line here very soon as well. If this season spirals out of control, Mike Norvell is gone. Respectfully. But nonetheless, Nebraska, they've looked pretty good this year. They struggled a little bit against Maryland. Obviously, a team that's underrated. They're 4-2 on the year. Dylan Raiola didn't have his best game, right? 3 interceptions. You can't have that if you're going to win games. They were able to obviously figure it out. Nasia Hunter had a pretty good game, 2 touchdowns in there, but Nebraska has to play better if they want a chance. But the interesting part of this all is that Cincinnati and Nebraska actually played Big 10 versus Big 12 earlier this year. It was a grinded out game, obviously, for Nebraska, 2017 win. Both teams are ranked. So, obviously, that win looks better now for Nebraska, which obviously has them in the AP poll. And then if you're Cincinnati, obviously, you've been playing, teams, and you should be on a collision course to play, obviously, Texas A&M. I mean, not Texas A&M, Texas Tech when it comes to the Big 12 championship, right? You should be on a collision course to do that, right? Very favorable schedule. Your toughest opponent coming up is probably Baylor in a few weeks. You play Oklahoma State this upcoming week. But if you're Cincinnati, you should be able to handle business. Your quarterback has played well, had 191 yards and 2 touchdowns in the last game. Brendan Sorsby, he was able to spread the ball out, and you came away, obviously, with a victory last week. But them two teams are going to be interesting to watch moving forward, especially for Nebraska. Big games coming up for them. Can they remain ranked? And like I said, outside of Texas Tech, there's no lock anymore in, obviously, the Big 12, right? We also seen Iowa State get the boot after getting upset by Colorado on the road. They're now 5-2 on the year. So Cincinnati, everything's ahead of you. Got to handle your business. Next up, Utah. Utah took advantage of Sam Leavitt being injured. Obviously, with Arizona State, they got whooped. The Sun Devils did on the road against Utah. Wasn't that surprising, in my humble opinion. Take advantage of your opportunities. Now, if you Utah, obviously, you also in the Big 12, take advantage of your opportunities. Again, 2 teams, them and Cincinnati, should be on a collision course to be able to get to where you want to go. We will find out what happens, obviously, and things like that. But with Devon Dampier, you feel pretty good moving forward. Now, I ain't going to lie. Memphis might be the best team as far as when you look at the group of 5, outside of maybe USF. Right, Memphis has been handling business. They got a really good scheme, good quarterback, good defense, and they've been handling their business. They're going to be interesting to watch. They got UAB this week, and then I think in a few weeks they're going to play against USF. That is the game of the games when it comes to, obviously, Group of 5 to see who comes out on top, who wins that game, because whoever does, they're likely going to be a lock for a Group of 12 playoff spot. Next up, how about Texas? And this is what I mean by not letting stuff spiral out of control. Like, obviously, Coach Sarkisian said, and he got criticized for it. Hey, you go play, obviously, in Horseshoe Bend, and you go play, obviously, at Ohio State, and you go play at the Swamp, and let's see how your team fares. And they did their thing. They did what they were supposed to do on the road. They got better from that game. They looked at themselves, and now they're number 21, even with 2 losses, with everything still out in front of you and being able to do. Because remember, Ohio State was a non-conference loss, right? You still got to play Georgia. You still got to play Texas A&M. So you got a chance to get up some quality wins. And one more good thing about them is that the quarterback is playing better. Arch Manning had a pretty good game, 21-27, 166 yards and a touchdown. He's improving, steadily progressing. As I told y'all last week, I wasn't comparing him to Joe Burrow, but I think he could have that similar arc, get better as the season goes on, and next year really take that step forward with Texas. But nonetheless, the Longhorns defense is the real deal. To hold Oklahoma to only 6 points and force 3 interceptions says a lot about them. Their defense is going to have them in any game, and they're going to be dangerous, moving forward. They just have to win the games they're supposed to win. Next up, USC, big win over Michigan, who also fell out of the poll this week. Just Mekhi Lemon, man. I mean, him and Jeremiah Smith, one-hand track, I think, of best receivers, obviously, in college football. Throw Chris Browser in there, too. He didn't have a good game this past week, but nonetheless, USC continuing to roll. They're going to be a team to watch, and this is what you needed. If you're a select team, which I'll talk about earlier, I'll talk about a little bit here later, but big for USC to be ranked number 20 for a team that we'll talk about who plays them this week. Next up, obviously, USF. They've done good this year. They've looked, obviously, potent. They've looked really good. They've been handling their business. A team I really like moving forward. And again, I'm waiting for that matchup in a few weeks. Right now, they had some struggles against North Texas. North Texas gave them boys the business a little bit in that first half, but they kept getting turnovers. They were taking advantage of, obviously, bad throws, getting the ball back to their offense. Byron Brown had a pretty good game in the second half, and they took advantage and put up 63 on them boys. You'll take that if USF. Keep winning. You right in that conversation. Now, like I said, I think you're a lock for a Group of 5 playoff spot as long as you handle your business. All right, next up, let's talk about Virginia. They continue to roll on. I don't believe they played this past week. I believe they was on a bye week, but Virginia, same thing. You got everything out in front of you. Continue to win the games, and like I said, you, Duke, And obviously, Tech have a chance to potentially play Miami in the ACC championship game. Everything aligns for you long as you handle your business and don't let it spiral out of control. But they've looked good this year. They can run the football. Pretty good defense. They've looked good so far. Now, if you're Vandy, big game this week, you're going to play against LSU, right? Obviously, coming off the bye week, have to fix some things, have to figure out some things. Can you get the offense going back to the level that it was before with obviously Diego Pavia and obviously Eli Stowers? Can you get it going? That's one thing we're going to have to find out here. Now, Missouri, they fell down obviously a little bit. Tough game, man. I was surprised. Alabama was able to slow down one of the best backs in the country in Ahmad Hardy. Only 52 yards rushing in that game. Not something you usually see when it comes to Ahmad Hardy. He's a guy that usually balls, does big things, and it's tough to slow down and stop. But Purbuella looked like he was seeing ghosts out there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With the pressure and everything like that, he caved a little bit towards the end. I think he has to be able to handle the pressure, you know, if it's coming to him, and being able to make the smart reads and the right throws. Some of them was a lot of overthrows, and Dijon Lee and Alabama secondary took advantage. Now, I still think Mizzou's a good team, right? You take the loss on the chin. There's only one loss, right? But you still have everything out in front of you. You still got notable games coming up. You just got to handle your business, and you need Bo Purbuella to play better under pressure. BYU, man, they was able to pull it out against Arizona, a struggle game on the road. But like I said, if you BYU, you Brett Buckmeyer, not your best game, but it's one you take on the chin, you get better moving forward, and obviously you stay up in that Big 12 conversation in order to play probably Texas Tech. Next up, Oklahoma. Surprising here. I thought they would still be a top 10 team, but obviously the AP voters didn't feel the same way. John Mateer struggled coming back from injury. Obviously had surgery 17 days ago. And you have to think about that conversation. Hey, maybe he got rushed back, right? Maybe he should have waited a little bit, right? Maybe he should have waited and saw and seen what happened first. It came back for the game against South Carolina they have this weekend, right? A lot of questions around that. But we'll see how he looks this week. Tough game to come back against a really good Texas defense, but he'll be better for it in the end. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you're Notre Dame, you've been playing some really good football, right? Your offense looks like it got it clicking. Defense is improving. C.J. Carr looks like a stud right now. Malachi Fields, Jordan Faison. You got studs. And this is what I said a few weeks ago. I said you need USC to be ranked in this game. It's only going to help you. Now, they moved up 3 spots from 16 to 13 this past week. You pick up another AP top 25 win against USC and their potent offense. That's going to still get you into the CFP. I don't care what nobody says. You win out. You do have them 2 ugly losses, but you'll be 10-2 with a couple AP wins on your belt. You'll likely get in with the Notre Dame brand that you are. Next up, Georgia Tech moves up a spot, handled their business against Virginia Tech, 35-20. Best the offense has looked to me this year. Didn't have a slow start, no turnovers. Was going up and down the field. Malachi Hosey's a stud. They got Malik Rutherford, who had his best game, 6 catches, 49 yards in a tub. You'll take it if you're Georgia Tech. Big test this upcoming week against Duke. Next up, Tennessee struggled a little bit, obviously, against Arkansas. They jumped out to a lead. You know, just got to handle the business at the end, right? Can't let teams creep back, because if you do, you know, that's a problem. Defense got to play better. They got the studs. They got Boo, right? They got Colton Hood. They got Aaron Carter. You got to play better, though. You cannot allow teams to stick, hang around. It can result in losses down the line, man. So Tennessee has to clean it up, but offense looks good yet again. LSU, I don't know what's the deal with Garrett Nussmeier. I keep trying to tell y'all, he has to play better. He's going to hold back a really elite defense messing around. He's going to have to figure out his play and play a lot better if they want a chance to potentially win a natty. Georgia, I said in my podcast yesterday or last night, they got a lot to figure out. You'll take the win, but there was a lot of questionable calls that went against Auburn in that game. Nonetheless, if you're Georgia, or you got the one loss, you got a big test coming up against Ole Miss, right? And you're going to have, obviously, Texas coming up in a few weeks, obviously, in November. We'll see. Jury still remains out on Georgia. Oregon, very surprised, man. Dante Moore did not have a good game. Heisman, obviously, Kansas City, I think, went down after that 2 interceptions. Got to play better at home against Indiana. Texas Tech continues the roll, man. Obviously, how about their running back, man? Tucker absolutely balled out, man. 2 touchdowns, nearly over 200 yards rushing. Balled out. Alabama, great road test. You got the quarterback you need. Ty Simpson, 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Jam Miller, before he got hurt, had nearly 100 yards rushing. Bama's the real deal. Ole Miss, got to play better, man. Struggled against Washington State. They ain't going to cut it. Coach Lane Kiffin said it best with Trinidad Chambliss, who I think is still QB1, but got to play better. You know what I'm saying? Can't be playing Division II football in D1. Next up, Texas A&M. Hey, they got dogs. We'll leave it at that. Indiana, how about them Hoosiers? Them boys is for real, man. That wasn't a fluke last year. Watch the hell out. Miami coming off a bye week. Big one this week. Friday night game. Got to get up. It is at home, but you're playing against a really good Louisville team that's going to want to come in there and upset you at home. But I feel like Miami should handle business. Last but not least, Ohio State handle business again against Illinois. The first interception of the year against Luke Altmaier. Defense is something serious, man. Offense is playing good. Julian Sainz that dude, along with Jeremiah Smith. Y'all comment down below your thoughts on the latest AP poll rankings.